Здравейте, аз съм Маги и днес съм тук заедно с Тигрила Гардения. Обещахме ви видео за света на растенията, как да си говорите с тях. Тя е една прекрасна дама от селището Даманхур, което се намира в Италия и където хората, така да се каже, са изучили вече науката на това, как да си комуникираме с растенията. И тъй като реших, че това е тема, която може би ще ви е интересна, освен това, което написахме в Списание 8, съм днес тук с нея, за да ви поговорим повече по темата. Thank you for being here again.
Thank you for the invitation.
How was your experience in Bulgaria?
It's been fantastic so far.
You have all the workshops done and
I did.
all
I
the
completed
events.
all the events, workshop, concert, presentation. It's been incredible.
Perfect. Okay, so tell now to people, how is this possible? How are plants talking to us and how are they we know that they are real, but we didn't know that they can communicate with us.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a few years now that we've actually, many years people have been researching and having experiences. And I think you always hear of a story of somebody who says, oh, I hugged a plant and they told me something incredible.
Yeah.
But the truth is that any of us can do this. I mean, plants are alive. We've always known that from our biology lessons.
Yeah.
But they actually have a whole series of senses. They can see and hear and taste and all the same 5 senses we do. And plus, they've now discovered that they have about another 15 more because plants need to be able to understand their environment differently than we do since they can't run away like we can. So now there's a lot more research that's going into how to communicate with them, how to experience, what is it that they're happening. From the scientific side, there's a lot of evidence that talks about the intelligence, the fact that plants actually have memory, that plants are smart and they can actually navigate their way through things. And then there's an entire other side that's connected to how do I start to make contact? What does contact mean? Because plants don't have the same human emotions we do. I mean, we feel happy and sad and hunger and things. So we don't really know yet what it is that a plant is experiencing. But we know that they experience a wide range of, we'll use the word emotion since we don't have another term, and that people can create a connection with them through many different ways, from meditation to touching the plant to just sitting with your back against the tree, or many different types of techniques that eventually allow you to enter into that memory that the plants have and for them to be able to pass information to you.
Great.
Yeah.
So how did it come to the idea that plants can produce music?
So at Damanhur, which is the community in Italy where I live, about 40 years ago, a group of people were really looking to connect with the plant world in new ways. And our community is very active. We like to make things, we like to create, we like to use our hands and our heads to enter into a communication with gods, divinities, whatever words you choose to use, but that is not just, I'm going to sit there and go, Om, since that doesn't really work for everybody. And so we started to create different devices. We thought, what if we allowed the plant to use technology to extend what it normally can do? So you have a plant and you say, can you, I don't know, turn on a light bulb? Or you have a plant and you say, can you open a door? Because to open a door, you have to recognize who's on the other side. You have to recognize that there is somebody there. And so we started to create these little experiments. We created a door for the greenhouse and gave the plant the mechanism needed to open that door.
So it did open the door?
It did. We found that the plant actually opens the door to people it knows. So that means the plant could recognize somebody it knew. It could recognize animals that it knew. And then we also started to play around with the idea of a little cart and could a plant drive? I don't think we ever got to the need of a driver's license. They don't drive that fast. But at least they can drive. And then we thought, well, what if we turned what they're creating, their signals, we use the electrical system of the plants, and what if we turn that into sound? And we had a lot of different experiments, some sounding terrible, to get to the device that we have today. And the device basically measures the electrical resistance between the leaf and the root system. And then it turns that into a signal that then gets mapped onto octaves of music. So the plant becomes the composer. The plant has the ability to compose its melodies, to choose what sounds it wants to use, like what notes it wants to play. And together, then, when it plays along with other plant musicians or human musicians, we have the ability to create concerts and to express different experiences, emotions, what's happening. The beautiful thing is that music is universal. You know, people love music, and you feel, without having even to hear the words, you feel the emotion of the music. So by listening to a plant, you get the idea of what it is that a plant is experiencing.
Yeah. You know, our researcher, the Bulgarian researcher Marina, she had a healing effect after listening to the plant's music for 1 week.
Yes.
So are there any researchers in this area? Like
yes, this is the big area.
Healing?
This is the big area of research that we're
because
going into right now.
Because we use herbs like in tea and to eat them and to use them as all kinds of medicine, but if they're just right next to us, or we use the music of the plant's device,
well, in reality,
do they know what problems we have? Or?
They do. That's the thing that we're finding. So our French, for example, distributor, who is doing lots of research with that, where he's having people stand with the plants and the plant make music, and he's able to understand what it is that the person has and to help the person find some type of healing. And like you said, plants already heal. Just the fact that this plant is here, it's recycling the air, it's cleaning out the toxins, it's giving off a series of chemicals that make it better for us. And so therefore, when you add the music to it, it's like it can penetrate to a new level. And so the next area of research is all around plant music therapy, botanical musical therapy or something. It was beautiful to say. So there's now a lot of area of research in hospitals, in clinics, in individual healers, therapists that are working with it. Even just having a plant playing the music is much more calming, and therefore you can enter into other types of healing through that. Or they're finding that just the plant music has a very specific effect.
Yeah. And also people usually say that if you're too stressed out, or if you need any kind of healing, just go to the mountain.
Exactly, and that's connection with nature. That connection when you go with nature, which is called biophilia, the reason we don't experience it in the city is because we don't recognize trees as being part of nature. We don't recognize that this tree sitting behind you is the same as going into a mountain, because you're going to find ficuses and other types of plants when you go into nature. So I think over time, the more people start to really recognize that the plants in their houses, the plants in the street, the plants in the park, the grass, the weeds that grow, the beautiful big trees, each one of them is nature. And therefore yes, it's beautiful to go out into the mountains. And of course there you have so much of it that you're going to feel it in a certain way. But even if you just go outside and put your back against a tree, there's a woman I worked with who said that she has right outside of her house a tree, and every time she comes home, if she's in a bad mood, if she's angry, if she's sad, if she feels something, she goes straight to that tree first. And she gives it all of her stuff, and she asks for help to recycle it, because plants take a lot of our waste and they recycle it physiologically, and therefore they can do the same thing actually emotionally or spiritually, using all different kinds of mixtures between aerosols and chemicals that they give off, as well as a more kind of spiritual type of context. And so she says she always goes into her house feeling good now, because she's recycled her energy with that tree.
Nice. So what do we need to do so that we keep our plants happy and in a good mood, or I don't know, because we need plants.
Absolutely.
Like basically for oxygen and also for healing, as we talk now. What do plants need us for?
Plants need us to recognize them more than anything, to interact with us and to co-create with them. So if we think about how can we co-create a better world with the plants? When I'm going to build a building or a house and I look at what's already there, the grass, the different types of plants, the trees, which ones of them make best sense if you contact them, makes better sense for you to build around? Which ones can you move from one place to the other? Which ones is it okay to eliminate because that part of it needs a transformation? So really working with them, and specifically in city environments, how do I put more into it? In cities where we have lots and lots of trees and lots of plants, the crime rate is less, the depression rate is less. There's lots of different things that happen because, like you said, we need them. We feel better with them. We're more calm. And we're more calm because they have all kinds of different great chemicals that help us. So we feel good, and we need to have that experience with them.
Perfect. Това беше от нас, но ви благодарим, че ни погледахте и вече знаете какво да правите с домашните китки и ще се видим отново следващия път, когато имаме какво да си кажем. Бай!